And we are absolutely delighted to have Marty join us live, the man of the moment. Good morning, Marty.
G'day, Troy. How you travelling?
I'm doing really well, my man. Thanks for joining us today. How are you doing ahead of Olympics? I feel a little bit guilty grabbing some of your time right now, but how you feeling? How you travelling? How are the nerves?
Oh, mate, I'm warm. It's very warm here. But besides that, I'm travelling good. This is my first Paralympics I've been to. I'm just thrilled to be here. It's such a great environment. You're seeing the best of all different sports here, all meeting here at one spot. I can't say anything bad about this place.
That's brilliant. Bit of fresh blood on the Olympic tour. You must be. It could at times feel a bit overwhelming. Is there people in particular that you've gravitated towards that you may not have met, or have you met most of these people through the tennis circuit already?
Yeah. So, in the athletes' village, in the Australian Paralympic village, I probably knew about 2 or 3 people before I got here. And now I probably know about 4 or 5 people. There's so many people all over the shop. Everyone's wearing masks at the moment as well, which is very hard to recognise anyone. Everyone's
right. Yeah,
I know. Everyone sort of looks the same. It's just sort of, when you go down the corridor, it's just a good day, mate, and just you got to keep it real, just casual and yeah. But majority of the people down the tennis court, though, I do know. Again, though, we try and keep our distance and to our social group, just because there is a good chance there is COVID floating around. Yeah. So we just need to, keep our distance and be safe.
When's prep? Have you got when's your first match?
First match is on Friday. I don't know at the time. They haven't done the draw yet. But yeah, really look forward to it. It's it's something I've worked hard for over the last 5 years. Getting the call up to come here again is special, and just hopefully I can perform at my best. Yeah, give the people what they want.
When did you first play tennis?
Wheelchair tennis or just tennis?
Just tennis in general.
When I was about 6-7 years old, I used to play a lot. I used to play, get training down at the local tennis club in Bulleen in Melbourne. Oh yeah. And then at one point I was training almost every day. I really developed a passion for it. Then when I was 13 years old, I moved down to Geelong. When I moved to Geelong, I fell on the same mornings as football, and at that point, I could never see myself getting to that, professional level of being in the top 100 at tennis. Yeah, right. It's very competitive. And for you to be able to make a good living out of tennis, that's where you have to be in the open, able-bodied division. Sorry, and football, and also as well, I was better at football. And I enjoyed hanging out with the boys and having a beer on the weekend and whatnot. So that's where my life took me. And then when I had my spinal cord injury, when I was 22 years old, that's when I started playing wheelchair tennis again. I was training 2 days a week, and 2 days a week turned into 5 days a week, turned into me playing national tournaments and then international tournaments. Yeah,
wow. Do you? It's obvious that you've done some damage to some part of your body. So, in particular, what have you done damage to?
Well, I broke my spine in, I think it was either 4 or 6 spots. Right. I can't look. There was a dry area there. But the only spot I did spinal cord damage to was T12. Now, my bone went into my spinal cord. I think it was like 1.8 of a mil. So it wasn't much. There wasn't much damage at all. And when they woke me up, they didn't really know where I would be. They didn't know if I lost any movement at all or just a little bit. But I'm incomplete. For the viewers that don't understand, when you have a spinal cord injury, it can be T6 or T12 complete or incomplete. And by complete, that means where the level of damage is, you've got no movement and no sensation underwards. What incomplete means is you have some movement and some sensation under it.
Right.
On the break. So I'm very incomplete. I can move my legs, just can't move my feet.
Yeah, right. Wow. And that's can you do you think about that moment very often, or is it part of? Is it not part of where you need to get to? So you kind of, we try and teach ourselves to put things in the rearview mirror that bother us or hinder us growing. Is that something that you like to just not think about, or is it quite an evident thing that you like to talk about in your power?
Oh, look, sometimes I do. Like I strongly believe that, like, where we are in the world at the moment, like with the stem cell research, epidural still, they've got a lot going on in the spinal cord community. And in the next 5 to 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised if there's enough there to get me over the line. As I was saying to you just before, I'm incomplete, so I don't have to retrain my whole body and try and make those neuron pathways work again. There's only just a very small amount that if I can walk around a walking stick for the rest of my life, I'll be happy.
Yeah, right.
And the strange thing is as well, all in my dreams, I only dream of me walking, me being able to do everything I used to do before my accident. It's quite strange, I'll wake up from a hectic dream of me just running. So,
do you ever just get up? Do you ever just get up and go, "Poof, we're off here. We're away. Hang on.
Yeah.
Wake up."
Yeah, honestly, sometimes I wake up like, oh yeah, let's go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, okay, no, I can't do it that way.
Sure. We've got a few questions coming through. Someone here from your old G-Tech. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, G-Tech. Yeah, that's where I went to school. I wanted to be an electrician back in the day.
Wow.
And then I became a carpenter. But as you know, it's a bit hard to build houses in wheelchairs.
Do you know what? The more inspiring stories I hear, I'm sure it will happen one day. One day. But yeah, Bertie from G-Tech says, love your attitude from your old G-Tech, your old school. Someone wants to know if you knock around with Dylan Alcott in doubles matches.
Yeah, I'm good. He's in the other room with me. We're in the same apartment.
Oh, right. They put all the tennis
I'm training with him every day and doing all my preps.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, that's cool. I've got a question coming through. I'm just going to get into it. We've got one from the listeners. What advice do you have for young fellas to stay positive or overcome hard and life-altering challenges? Getting straight into the deep stuff here.
Yeah, well, one thing I've come to learn is in life, there's only 2 outcomes out of anything, and one you win or one you learn. If you go through life like that, I feel you gain a lot of knowledge in any way. And that's if there was something to tell my younger self, that was it. Don't dwell on anything. If something's happened, just accept it, and just, if it can't happen again, make sure it doesn't. And if it's something that you can't change, then just don't dwell on it.
When we talk of you talk of recovery and from that moment of waking up in a hospital to when do you call it recovered? Are you always in recovery? Meaning, are you always trying to improve your physicality, improve your motion? From that, I mean, have you got is it just an ongoing thing, or have you really
it's ongoing. Sorry.
Yeah. Or do you compartmentalize, like, you're done now of all the serious stuff? You've kind of now know what you've got as your basics, and then you just kind of implement newer things as you go?
Well, it's probably about a year and a half into my post-injury, into my injury, is when it started to really feel like, okay, this is it for a long time. I wasn't really getting much stronger in my legs. I wasn't and whatnot. After my injury as well, probably for the first year, I don't really remember anything at all, because it was that traumatic. And I'm one of the better ones out of the people who's had a spinal cord injury. So I feel about a year to 2 years it took me to really get my ground set on me being in a wheelchair and being able to do everything I need to do. But after 2.5 years, I think, of me being in a wheelchair, that's when I started to be able to travel overseas. And I feel that was a big deal for me, because making sure I got on my toiletries, making sure everything's going to be set. You always have to pre-plan for all of these things, making sure that you're able enough to do what you need to do to get to places.
How important is a physio in your world now?
Now not so much important. Much importance to it. For wheelchair tennis, yes.
Right.
You know, I have to keep my body as fit as possible. But for the recovery of me trying to get back on my feet, I try and stay away from that sort of stuff as much as possible. Don't know why, I just do.
What did you say? You stay away from it?
Well, yeah, look, I've steered away from like the physio side of trying to walk up, you know, walk around and do whatever. Like I try and do my own things.
Yeah,
you know, like try and wiggle my toes. You know, I get up and walk as much as possible, but going to an hour-long session of physio, I just find it quite draining. So if I need to do physio for wheelchair tennis, yeah, absolutely. You know, working on my shoulders, working on my body. But yeah, for my recovery of from a spinal cord injury, I have tried to steer away from it.
Yeah. Got some great comments coming through on the chat. I know you can't see it. Someone says you have not lost your sense of humour. Do you know Bert from G-Tech?
Bert.
I think he's a teacher.
Name.
I think he's a teacher there. But anyway, he said you've not lost your sense of humour, which is pretty good. I think you need a good dose of sense of humour in your world. Thank you, Marty. Your attitude is so deadly. And we've got a few people saying that they're gonna keep an eye out for Friday. We've got a lot of Geelong crew here too, which is really cool. We talk about perspective quite often. We would probably find a lot of perspective in talking to people like you in our situation. Where do you find your perspective, your grounding? I know I've done some research on another athlete, and they said, mate, I'm actually good. When I got to the Olympic Village, I realised I'm not even near the most difficult, having a difficult time. Is that the same for you?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, whenever you look around here, it's such an eye opener. There's so many different disabilities for so many different sports. You know, and everyone's got their own story. So very interesting. You know, like a lot of people born with the disabilities. A lot of people have accidents, like myself, and a lot of personalities. You know, that's another thing. Yeah, and it's awesome that everyone can come together and be proud of their disability as well. You know, that's another main thing. It's whatever anyone's gone through, hardship, you know, sense of direction, you know, sense of purpose. Everyone is here because they've earned it. You know, they've really achieved to be here, and yeah, you look around and it's amazing. It really is.
We've got we're aware of the last few days on this show. There's a We the 15 campaign going around. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
It's about
15% of look. That's a huge number. I didn't realise it'd be that big. Yeah, 15% of the world's got some form of disability, and yeah, we are the 15%.
That's huge. Well, yeah, there you go, Arnie Georgina. Great to see you on the chat. So, how do we, from your perspective, how can we improve our awareness, and how can we help an equal visibility for people, that 15%, when it's a strong number, 85% of people aren't in your shoes? How can we understand, or how can we improve general life, specific life? What's your view?
Look, that's a hard question for me, because I always take the piss out of my disability, and some people wouldn't like that. Right. So, look, I guess just you know, going against what I just said, just treat everyone normally. You know, if you see someone with a disability, just treat them like they're just any other person in this world. You know, I think there's only ever been one time I've been annoyed at you know, being disabled, and that was I rocked up to one of my old nightclubs I used to go out to in Melbourne, and the bouncer walked up to me and said, "Hey mate, we can't let you in. There's not enough space in the club for a bloke in a wheelchair." And then before I could say anything, he walked back into the club, and I was pissed. And
wow.
I feel in if you just need inclusion. You know, you just need to be able to include anyone, you know, no matter who they are, in anything. If they want to be there, let them be there. You know, and that's the best thing I can come up with.
Do you notice things changing? Rocking
Oh
up
yeah,
to
definitely.
places, wheelchair access. What other
Mm.
things? What other things do you notice that are being added around that actually make things a little bit more
Well,
helpful?
I think Dylan Alcott's a very good spokesman for people in wheelchairs. You know, in disabilities, he's got his own festival now.
Yeah.
He's doing like he's massive, and he's doing a lot for the community. You know, I feel when I go to airports, you know, they're asking questions, and they're not telling me, you know, hey, you got to do this, hey, you got to do that. It's like, hey, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want to be in your wheelchair until you go to the gate or to the airport? How do you want to get on the plane, etc.? I feel 5 years ago that wasn't the way. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, you're in a wheelchair, and you're going to go on in one of our wheelchairs, and you're going to sit there for an hour and a half. Gee, you have to get on the plane, you know, and there wasn't much choice. It was just this is how it is.
You seem like a pretty. Were you always this kind of, I guess, nonchalant or not dismissive, but kind of you're pretty kind of. You're not dwelling on negative at all. I mean, it's easier said than done. But were you always like this, or have you?
Oh, look, I have my times. You know, I'm not gonna lie. It's not an easy road I've gone down, but you know, like at the end of the day, you know, like I'm here in Tokyo representing my country for a sport. You know, like this is unbelievable. This is what, you know, people strive for their whole lives, and I've been able to achieve it in the last, you know, 5 years of working hard. So you know, not even just that. You know, I've travelled the world playing wheelchair tennis. I've been to, you know, I think it's like 10 different countries. You know, I was just over in Europe a couple of months ago for a couple of months, where you know, no one's allowed to leave the country at the moment, as you know. So although a lot of doors have closed, I feel like a lot more doors have opened.
Wow.
You know, like it's undescribable. It's awesome.
Mindfulness. Someone's asked a question here. Do you practice mindfulness in recovery or preparation for a game, like visualization? How do you prepare for some big stuff?
Look, my psychologist has given me half a dozen exercises to do, and a lot of it does come back to breathing and focus on certain parts of the game and whatnot. It's still part of my game I'm working on. It's something that I need to work on because out in training I smash it, and then as soon as you put me under a little bit of stress, I can break. But you know, it is what it is.
We've all sports people have been there, mate. You put me at the foul line with 4 seconds to go, I am crapping my dacks, and I all of a sudden can't remember how to shoot a free throw. I've done it for 20 years. It'd be really hard. It'd be also really hard to do it when you know the whole world's watching. Have you done your scouting report of your matchups?
Scouting report of a match? No. Look, probably.
Anyone to look out for?
Yeah. Look, half the people here I've probably played against 2 or 3 times. So you look, and the other half, if I do play against them, they'll smash me. Like they're awesome. So we'll hopefully I get a nice draw. Hopefully I can go in the match feeling confident and go in with a sort of sense of how I'm going to play. You know, I think I'm going to stick to my game plan as much as possible. But again, it will dictate what's going on, who the other person is on the other side of the net. And another factor that really comes in is the environment here. You know, it's 35 degrees or 33 degrees, and humidity's up at 70-80%. So if I'm playing an older fella, I think the longer the match goes for, the more chance I have a win.
Yeah. You know? Coming from that brisk Geelong blood that you've got, it would take a few days to acclimatise to Tokyo. When did you land?
Mate, I know. It's weird here in Australia. The sun is, when you're out in the sun, it kills you. Here, it's the sun and humidity that it just rocks you. So I'll be drinking plenty of water and using plenty of sunscreen.
Are you impressed by the way the village and the Tokyo Olympic stadiums and stuff being now dedicated to the Paralympics? The edits they've done and the changes that they would have had to do in the last week and a half to go from the Olympics. It's at the same stadiums, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything's the same. They've just changed a few rooms and have made them wheelchair accessible, like wheelchair accessible showers and whatnot. There's to be honest, I'm looking around though, and it doesn't look. I think that's one of the major changes. It's just the accessible bathrooms.
Yeah, right.
Everything else. They haven't. I don't think they've installed any extra lifts or whatnot. But yeah, look, it's I'm very impressed by Tokyo. It seems everything that they do here gets done right. You look around, it feels like I'm at a futuristic games here. No word of a lie. There's all these electric, what do you call it? Like van / scooter things where you can fit about 5-10 people on, and honestly, you look at them, and then there's good skyline, around here. And it's a shame as well we can't leave because about 500 to a kilometre away from here is the main CBD area, so it's just the heart of the city, if you were able to leave here and have your family here, I'm sure that this would probably go down as one of the best games of all time.
Not everyone's will have your journey on the back of something really serious happening to their body. For those people that perhaps are in the position or know someone that's in the position that's just had a spinal injury or some kind of injury that's changed their options quite dramatically, what are some things that you would say to them in terms of how they take on their what's regarded as probably one of their biggest challenges at the time? Talking in particular about, maybe there's some people that have just gotten to start life now in a wheelchair, or you really have just grabbed things and gone crazy. Like, it sounds like your life's even better than what it was. If it's not too rude to say that.
No, not rude at all. I sometimes say that, to be honest. Well, one thing, if I could get out of the wheelchair tomorrow, I would. But if I'm in it today, I'm sweet with it. But back to it. Some advice. Just milk the shit out of it. Make sure you get your disability car park and just park it every time.
Let's go.
It's awesome. You always get the best car spot.
Do you still love it? Do you still love it? So good.
But no, you're right.
That's great. That's great. I just asked, do you still love it? Do you still love driving past like a full car park down Kmart and you're like, what? Coming through.
Every time. Every time.
What about at festivals? Do you go to? Have you gone to? What about if you go to Dylan's? Have you been to Dylan's festival?
No, I haven't. Every time it's on, I've been having to go overseas.
Oh, right.
Play a tournament. So I'm hoping this year, because it said it's going to be November 27th. So if that's the case, as long as there's no cases in Melbourne and vaccination and whatnot, we can go ahead with it.
We got a regular segment that happens at 8:30 from one of my good mates who I met 10 years ago now. 6 years ago, he's got MS. He got diagnosed with MS, and in particular, he's following some of the MS trained, the MS athletes that are in the village. But he talks about how it can break or make his day if someone's parked in his disabled spot. Do you have any wild battles with people? Like, are you on the horn?
Look, I haven't, but a couple of mates have. It was I remember rocking up, and there were all the disabled car parks taken, and then there was one specific family that parked there, and everyone just stood up and walked out. And my mates just said, "Nah, I've had enough," and jumped out of his car and went and said, "Mate, what are you guys doing?" And they said, "Oh, we're parked." He goes, "Yeah, but none of you is disabled." I said, "I've got a mate in a wheelchair that needs a spot." And they felt quite awkward, and I think they just thought that they'll get away with it. They just jumped in the car, reversed the car, and went and parked somewhere else.
You got any other sports that you're tinkering with? I mean, you're a champion tennis player. You're about to hopefully be crowned with a medal. Sure. Are you dabbling with other sports in mind?
No, not really. I used to play wheelchair basketball down at the Tri Boys.
Oh yeah.
Every Tuesdays. But then my my schedule was getting too hectic. My training schedule was just getting too much, so I had to give it up. It was heaps of fun. The thing is, I feel wheelchair basketball is one of the biggest para sports here.
Oh, wow.
I think if anyone's born in a wheelchair, they 5-6 years old, they're picking up a basketball and they're shooting hoops. And they're really developing the skill. And for wheelchair tennis, I reckon that's probably one of the biggest individual sports here. But look, I think I'll just stick with wheelchair tennis and what I know.
Is it the same preparation, the same epic? Monday to Sunday, are you eating crazy? Are you? Is it the same demanding workload, or do you have to be a little bit tapered just with your physicality, and you got to take maybe a bit extra time to recover?
Look, the training is hectic. Just before my European trip a few months ago, as soon as it got to Friday, I wasn't looking at really socialising or anything. Yeah. I was just looking straight for that bed. I just wanted to just go jump into bed. Come Saturday, Sunday, I'll crawl out, and it was no time for beers or anything. It was just training. The food could be a little bit better. I think I hit Uber Eats one or two many times during the week, but look, it's still you got to stay relatively healthy. I never really considered myself to be a professional athlete, but now everything I'm doing is up there. I am. Coming into here, I was in the heat chambers. I was, we were training 4 hours a day. So, we were making sure we're doing everything right to get our leverage over anyone that we face here.
Who's some of the most important people in your life that have supported you along your way?
Friends and family. I wouldn't even know where to begin there. Out of all this ordeal, me ending up in a wheelchair, I've never lost any friends. Everyone has supported me when I got out of hospital. All my best mates rocking up there with a six pack of beer. Making sure that I was safe, good, well. What do you call it? Tennis Australia have been really supportive of with me. Now I'm here, Paralympics. It's just, I couldn't say a bad word about anyone in my life. Everyone's awesome.
That's brilliant, Marty. Mate, I really appreciate you jumping in. You're our first guest, and I was a bit worried that I'm asking people to jump on the show ahead, like in the middle of getting ready. But it's very encouraging to hear that you're not playing till Friday, so I don't feel as demanding. Yeah. We've got some comments going off on the chat here. Can't wait to scream at the TV and cheer you on, Marty. The crowd surfing. Go Martyn and Dylan. Thanks for giving us your valuable time whilst in the Athletics Village. Good luck for your campaign. Use up those physios. This is from a very good physio here in Geelong. He's at Corio Bay on that one opposite Kinya Park.
Yes,
Corio Bay Sports Medicine. He's great. He said good luck. Use up your physios for your preparation and then recovery. We'll be cheering from Geelong. All the best, Martyn from Jano. Brother, really awesome to connect with you. I'd love to see you around Geelong, and now I will be cheering. I think a lot of people will be tuning in. It's on. Do you know what time Friday your first match is?
No, I don't, mate. Wednesday's the draw, and I think then I will find out what time. All I know is we start our sport on the 27th.
Oh, mate, I'll make an effort to announce it on our show. But thanks, Marty. You're going to have a fair few more people in your corner.
Cheers, Troy.
For the Olympics. Good luck with your preparation.
If you guys, I'll either share to you or if anyone wants to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, it's Martyn Dunn. So give us a follow, give us a friend request, and I'll be updating that on what time I'll be playing. Oh,
that's brilliant. Super helpful, my man. All the best for the next few days.
No worries. Thanks, Troy.
No worries.
Great to be on here. This is awesome.
I'm glad, man. It's always a really encouraging start to speak to people like yourself. So thanks for your time.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Hey, before you go, you got a song request? What are you going to listen to when you get off here? Are you a music man?
Mate, the song you had on before. Funny enough, when I came on here, so when I was over in Europe, my flight got pushed back a few days, and I was with a player in Zagreb, Croatia. And that's the capital. And I was annoyed my flight got pushed back, but my roommate said, "Mate, what are you talking about? You're in Europe. Where do you want to go for a few days?" And I said, "I reckon we go to we jumped on what do you call it, Google Maps, and we found Split. Don't know if you know Split. We caught a train to Split, and I got smashed on one of the nights. Came home at about 4 a.m. The sun was coming up, and I was playing that song you were playing just before we went off air.
Oh, no way!
So, you said you don't repeat songs, but I think you might need to repeat this one.
What was it? Oh no! Hang on.
When I wake, that song like when I wake up in the morning. Now.
Oh, a lovely day. A lovely day.
Yeah, lovely day. Yeah.
Well, I'll play the Bill Withers version. That one was some other version. Oh man, that was Bill Withers'
original.
Studio Rio version. I'll play Lovely Day for you, man. Hey, big love to you, man.
Right.
We'll catch up.
No worries. Thank you very much, Troy.
See you, Braz.